Hey friends, welcome back to Pursuing Eden. I'm Kyla, coming to you from the hills of Jamaica, Spring Hill to be exact. And I'm feeling so privileged to be out here in as raw as nature as I've come to. Can you hear those birds? And I'm actually in what is known as the Blue Mountains region of Jamaica. It is beautiful. If you haven't yet been here, you should definitely check it out. It is in my top 5 locations on earth. There's great hiking, great rivers, just beautiful nature. So if you haven't seen my last video, I'm gonna link it here. Please check it out. It tells you a little bit more about what we're gonna be covering on this channel so that you'll know what to expect. Secondly, if you haven't yet subscribed, I have way more views than subscribers. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share this video. It helps others like you get to see this content. So thanks in advance for doing that. All right, let's get into today's video. We're talking about pursuing God, pursuing a present God. Most people I've met have questions about our beginning. And even if we don't have the answers, we still have the questions. Now, I'm not proposing to give you all the answers in this video, but I do think that sharing a little bit about how we came to be kind of gives us a little bit more grounding and purpose. And so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about God and where he was in our beginnings. And so to do that, we're going to turn to the book of Genesis, and we're going to look at our opening sentence of that book. Genesis chapter 1, and the very first statement opens up with, "In the beginning, God." And for me, that actually holds a lot of meaning. I grew up as a Christian, and I used to read through these verses, maybe even race through them, because I felt like I knew everything that it had to say. But if we just stop for a moment and pause at "in the beginning, God," what this tells me is that in our beginnings, God was very much there. He was present. And the chapter goes on to describe how God created this earth. But today, I just want to focus on the fact that God was very much there, very much present. And what this tells me is that God cares about our existence. There are many other philosophies and theories about how this earth came to be, how we came to be. And several of them espouse the idea that there might have been a God and he kind of just set things in motion, and we just kind of came about. Some are based on the idea that there was no God, and so our existence is completely random. There is no meaning to it. But if God was there in the beginning, that tells me again that we are no accident. This earth is no accident. This beautiful nature, the hills, the sky, that was there by design, intelligent design, the highest form of intelligence, actually. So the verse and the chapter goes on to talk about how God created the heavens and the earth. And what I like about the second verse is that it says, "The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters." Another way to read that is to see that the Spirit of God hovered on the face of the waters. And that word in the Hebrew actually translates to the same way that a hen kind of like hovers over her nest, or a bird kind of hovers in the sky, right? God was brooding over the waters, not in a sad, despondent kind of way, but more in a way of expectation. Something big was about to happen. Before we go any further, though, I think we have to understand who this God is, right? It says that in the beginning, God. Now, the English language is actually quite limited, as I'm sure some of us know. And so the word God in English, most people take that to be singular. Many people actually consider, God to be sort of this energy force. But in the Hebrew, if we go back to the original language in which this book was written, it was written in Hebrew, and the word for God is Elohim. And that's actually a plural form for the word God. So it means that when we refer to God, we're talking about a plurality. There was more than one being present who made up God. And you may have heard this before, I don't know, but I'll just share a little bit about it. Within Judeo-Christian beliefs, there's a notion of a Godhead. The Lord our God is one. That same God there is Elohim, plural. And so this plural entity makes up one God. And I actually am fascinated by that concept, because when I think about it, not only was there more than one being present who was, interested in our beginning, but it tells me that God is a God of community, right? God is someone who likes company, companionship. God is not interested in being alone. God is someone who needs to share love. And so from my perspective, when I read this text, what I see here is that this God came together and made this earth. And because of the love and the sense of community that existed between this Godhead, one of the natural outcomes of that is creation. So love requires or begets the creation of other things. And so our God, the God that created this world, is a God of love, a God very much interested in who we are. I just wanted to share that bit of insight with you, because for me, when I think about a present God who was very much there at the beginning of the existence of this world, it gives me hope. It gives me a huge sense of comfort, because it means that he still cares about me. And I'll give you just a little example of what I mean by that. So I took some time off from work and decided to come to Jamaica. I am from Jamaica. I thought back to some of the things that I liked to do as a teenager, as a child. And most of those things were outdoor activities. I love camping. I like hiking as well. I really, really like hiking. And I've hiked the Blue Mountain Peak 3 times. And for years, I've been wanting to come back and hike the Blue Mountain. But not many people are interested in that. And it's not a place that you can come by yourself. You can get lost. I've been on hiking trips before where people have gotten lost for days. And so the idea of going by myself was out of the question. I started calling the park ranger office. No one was answering. I tried this for days. To make a long story shorter, I was feeling a little bit, despondent, because I felt that I wasn't going to get to do this hike. I get on Airbnb out of a whim, just to see what else is there to do. Can I find a reasonable property that is fun and will, have me spend a lot of time outdoors? And I came across this one. It's almost at the base of the mountain. And I saw in the comments for people who had stayed here before that they offered a guide to hike with you to the peak. And I was like, yes, this is it. And I realized after I booked it that was God's answer to a prayer that I hadn't even, directly said to him. I just said to myself and to my mom, I want to hike. I want to go hike the Blue Mountain. To know that there is this cabin that someone built in, Spring Hill, that I could come and stay here, and it was available. I mean, it wasn't a hassle getting into it. Was just so amazing to me. I have an immense sense of gratitude. So anyway, I would love to know your thoughts on this God that I've just described as written in Genesis chapter 1. I want to know what you think. Does it make a difference to you that God is present? Would you like to know more about this God? Did I share anything that was confusing? I'll try to link some stuff below if you'd like more information on Elohim and, Genesis in general. Anyway, I would love to hear from you. Looking forward to seeing your comments and your thoughts. Thank you. Thanks for watching.